All right, let me just use a few minutes here and get a different take from Ken Cuccinelli than what I laid out. First, Ken, thank you, and sorry for the difficulties. The way I read the Supreme Court case is, of course, Texas has jurisdiction over its border and what it does on the state level. But that FBI officials or any federal official should be able to cut wires that are obstructing their ability to do their job. If that's all this is about, where's the problem?
Yeah, so first of all, there's a question about whether the Border Patrol is cutting the wire to protect the border or to let people invade, to enter. And that's a dispute. That's one dispute. But let me touch on the authority for Texas. So, the Supremacy Clause, Article 6, gives the federal government typically authority above state authority. And that's true, but Texas isn't using state authority. They're operating out of Article 1, Section 10, which allows states that are being invaded without federal permission or approval to repel those invasions themselves. And that's what Abbott has been talking about lately, forcefully. He is not actually doing it, Chris. They're putting up a lot of concertina wire and walls and so forth. What they're not doing is putting people back into Mexico, and that constitutional authority allows Texas to do that. Until they do that, they will not slow down the flow. Nonetheless, you saw 25 governors today in the last couple of days rally to support Governor Abbott in what he is doing on the border, which is using state authorities, like you mentioned, like criminal trespass and other things. But those don't stop the flow. Until people don't believe they'll get in over your border, they'll keep coming.
Right. I don't have any problem with that. It doesn't matter if I do. The law is the law. But I don't understand, if Abbott doesn't want this to be just a political play, why not do both? That unless you can establish that the reason federal authorities are cutting the concertina wire is to allow easy access, because they made the opposite case, right? They said, no, we're only cutting it so that we can go and apprehend people and do what we need to do with them. We're not doing it. So factually, the court didn't find that the federal government was wrong about that.
Well, the Supreme Court, the majority, didn't issue an opinion. They simply vacated the lower court order that was only for the duration of the case that blocked the Border Patrol from cutting Texas's wire. Supreme Court allowed that to continue if Border Patrol chooses, but they didn't issue an opinion. The only opinion was the dissent of 4 justices that opposed that position.
Right, but that doesn't rule.
When I don't see an opinion in a situation like this, Yes, that's exactly right. And in fact,
so look,
with the Center for Renewing America, you introduced me, we put an amicus brief in this week in that very case. It is likely to be decided in the latter half of February or beginning of March.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. But look, that takes me to my second question for you. I don't blame any of these states for wanting to do something when the federal authorities aren't doing what they need to be doing. And why? Not blaming CBP. Okay? They don't have the man-woman power. They don't have the right rules. They don't have the right processing things. So they cut a deal at the Senate that by all accounts that I have, was everybody happy about it? No. But they were happy enough to move it to the House and try to get a reconciliation on it. And then to preserve it for the election as a problem instead of doing something to make it better, that is like a new level of low in our politics.
So Chris, you and I agree on that point. If they're tanking the bill for an election play, look, their job is to keep America safe and make it better than it is today, right? To continually improve. That's their job. It isn't to tee up elections and all the rest. So you and I agree 100% on that. I do not agree with you that just because some people from the opposite sides of the aisle agreed on a bill that was going to essentially legalize 5,000 people coming in a day, give them work permits, raise the green cards. Essentially, it makes all of the reasons that people are attracted to break the law allowable. It would have just created, believe it or not, even higher numbers for inflows illegally into the United States.
But Republican senators didn't believe that.
It was a bad basis for a bill.
But you had
Some of them
Republican
didn't,
senators.
and just like the Gang of Eight,
I know,
10
but I mean, you
years
had
ago.
a deal.
I understand
what
that.
I'm
That
saying
doesn't
is,
make
look,
it okay. That doesn't
But
make
Mitch
it okay.
McConnell could have said that. Mitch McConnell could have said that. Okay? Any of the Republican
I agree
senators
with you.
could have come
I
out.
agree 100%
Boone and the other
on
guys
that
could have come
point.
out and said that.
Yep.
Nobody said anything except what McConnell said out loud and Mike Johnson then echoed. But let's table it, not just because of time, but because we don't know enough. But when we do, we'll come at it again. I appreciate your acumen. I look forward
Chris,
to having you on the show.
if I could say one quick thing.
Go ahead.
One quick thing. They said it was a great bill, but they wouldn't show us the text. Why wouldn't they show us the bill? Because it really wasn't that great a bill, I would suggest to you.
Or they didn't want us to see
we agree again.
what it was that they were scuttling so that they could give Trump an advantage.
Right.
But we should know transparency is key, and we'll revisit the issue. I wish you a good weekend.
I agree. Amen.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Good to
Ken
be with you.
Cuccinelli, thank you very much.